Hi, you've got Andrea and Jim from the While We Are Working podcast, episode 2. This week we watched the renowned movie that was told it was a must-see from Reddit users.
Yeah.
And it was called LA Confidential. You might remember it from 1998.
1998, was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was actually 1998. I know that because when we get to my notes, I'll tell you why I looked up that year.
Okay.
As you know, this podcast is to review movies that a list of Reddit users found culturally relevant and life-changing. Last episode was La La Land.
Yeah.
And this episode is LA Confidential, which I would give
Sort of, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually liked it way better than La La Land.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was life-changing.
Definitely not.
And I don't think it was something where I was like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing movie that I, can't live without, or somebody shouldn't.
Yeah,
if
not
you
that
haven't
either.
seen this, you must go out and see it. Although I will say, it was entertaining for the time that it was.
Yeah. Also, just to bring it back to this, I forget what I was going to say. Should we start over?
I don't think we can just start over. I think that's part of the beauty of
Okay.
this, right?
Live
just can't
podcast.
start
Yeah,
over.
we can't start over. So we're just going to trudge through. I'm tired today. So tired that when I got to work, I'm not at work right now, but when I got to work, my car said, check the back seat.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, did I not just go drop off my kid at school?
Well, I'm glad your car reminded you to check your back seat so that you did not leave your children
I
in the car.
am that tired. Okay, anyway.
There.
Okay, so we watch LA Confidential. All right. Why don't we start with...
Can we start with this? Because this was bothering me, right? So, is it a Christmas movie like Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Because it was really focused around the holidays. It started out around the Christmas and all of that. And I was just like, is this on the same level? Is this like, do people watch this at Christmas time like they watch Die Hard?
I feel like no.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
I've actually never heard of this movie until now. I mean, I'd heard of it, but Die Hard, you've heard
but
of.
I didn't really get or understand the Christmas part of it, and it seemed really kind of heavy in that first, half of the movie was like focused around Christmas and the holidays and everything. And I was just like, is this one of those cult movies that are like that people think are a holiday that aren't a holiday?
We will link a question to this podcast asking if you think that this is a holiday film or if you don't think it's a holiday film. Because now I'm curious.
Right.
I'm going to go with I don't think it's a holiday film.
I'm going to say no, but I feel like there might be a cult following that think it does.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Also, just to reiterate, Jim and I don't talk about these movies that we watch until now. So we're really going to find out from each other what we thought. Okay, I just have a question for you, Jim.
Yeah.
Would you sleep with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah. Not over a young Russell Crowe.
Well, that's obvious.
I mean, Russell Crowe was like really hot in this, and I was like, oh.
I know.
But something about Kevin Spacey's character I did find sort of attractive, and I was kind of like, it made me feel a little uncomfortable because like he's kind of a
he's got
creep.
his things.
But I was like, he was an attractive man, but also there was a weird part of this where I thought, are we dancing around his sexuality in this too? Of being gay, right? Like he's gay in real life. But back then he wasn't out. So I was also like, is this dancing around his own sexuality?
That's going way deeper than I went, which was, this is the only movie I've ever seen with him in it where I find him like kind of hot. And you know what I think made him hotter was actually the character. So he starts off like this really like obnoxious, will do anything for fame and money, and which leads me to another note. But then when the young guy is in the motel room and he goes to stop him, I was like, oh, he's kind of like got a conscience.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it was a good, but that was the part where I was like, is this the sexuality where he felt the need to help that person because he himself is gay? You know what I mean? Like, they didn't know that. He wasn't out at the time, but I just thought it was interesting.
Well, so then if they didn't know that, then they weren't dancing around it.
They weren't, but I just thought it was weird in the way that it did dance around it with...
I could see that.
Like,
I could see
I don't
that.
know, it just seemed weird to me, like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I do think he's good looking in this, though.
Yeah.
I do think he redeems himself, unfortunately, right before he dies. Like with leaving the $50 for the bartender and then going to stop the kid. And then making sure that he gives the giveaway to the officer, Captain Dudley, so that he'll give it to the young lieutenant. I thought that was really good. So in Kevin Spacey, I like that. And then my next note is quite obviously Russell Crowe is so hot.
Yeah, Russell Crowe is definitely like, I was like, but then there was also a weird part where I was this kind of like, his neediness or something, his trauma was like driving me a little like not attractive in a sense. But can we just talk about the fact that he went after Kim Basinger after she had already had sex with somebody else? He was like, so like she had a client prior to that, and then he was like, oh, and I was just kind of like, is that hot?
Well, she took him to a new bed. They didn't do it in the dirty bed.
At least she brought him to new sheets, clean sheets. But I was just like, wait a minute. He's so, like, and I was like, did that turn him on more? Like his character, obviously. But
or him.
Or him,
Yeah. Also, on that same subject, how is Kim Basinger a real person prior to Botox and fillers? Because she is like unbelievably stunning.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way?
Yeah, she was really pretty. But I also felt like I could see a little bit of her age in a sense in it.
Oh my God, it was so beautiful though. I was looking at her and I would like in these days, I would have been like, oh, well, obviously she's had a ton of work done. But she couldn't have it back then. So she's just a natural beauty. She's stunning. If Kim Basinger ever listens to this, I would like we love you, but also I would really like your beauty regimen, your skincare regimen, what you use, how you get that look, just everything. Hands down, you're the hottest hooker I've ever seen. Well, she is, right?
I don't know if she's a hooker. She was more of a madam.
She definitely was not a madam. A madam was like Pierce Pitchett or whatever the guy, he was running the circle.
Yeah, but I feel like she was more, not a madam, but she was more like, I don't know. She felt like classier than just a hooker.
Because you got fooled by the celebrity-looking prostitutes. Which, by the way, if that doesn't already exist as a business, kind of a good idea.
Actually, yeah. But
like you could have sex with Rihanna. But it's not really Rihanna. Well, I'm just saying you could sell that.
Right? Interesting. Side business.
Our next career.
While we are working hookers.
We could be doing this and sending people on their way.
Right.
No, but anyway, I thought she was gorgeous. I did think that was an interesting thing is that he'd like watch men go in and out, and then he was like, "I want to be with you," and I was like,
"Yeah." I was like, it seemed like it almost turned him on, which brought another like tone of like, ooh, what is this movie about?
Right? He's got his kinks.
Yeah.
Which also really bothered me at the end, and I know like this was supposed to take place in the 50s, I think, and women were supposed to be seen as like meek and weak and all those things because he hits her and then she goes with him to Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, there was a weird part to that where I was like, he had this whole tone of like, I'm this macho man looking after women,
but only looking after women. Yeah.
And then when he hit her because he was so mad that she had slept with this other guy, which I thought was kind of weird that he was mad that she slept with another guy when he legit went after her literally after she had slept with this other guy.
And also her job is sleeping with people.
Right. And he was just so mad. I was like, what is he mad at? Is he mad that she slept with him or just in general? Because like, she's a hooker.
I think it was him because he doesn't like that guy.
Yeah, but I was like, it was just kind of weird. But then I was like, you hit her. And you never saw an apology. I
know.
And I was just like...
The only apology you got was when Ed, the Lieutenant Ed whatever, remember they're in the when she got brought to the sheriff's station to keep her safe, and he was like, he feels really bad about what he did.
Right.
And she was like, oh, well, I know how that feels. And I was like...
Yeah, but that's not an apology if you're not giving it, Well, and I'm sure apparently somewhere along the way they had this conversation and they worked out their issues.
Maybe,
apparently,
but I mean, justice was served because he got shot in the head.
Right.
So
yeah,
teaches you to hit a woman.
Right.
My